Hello there, I'm Lucas Gomersall. I'm the London and South East sales specialist for H&H, and we're here at the Millbrook Proving Grounds again for the second time, and the second time of what will be many, because we've got plenty more coming next year as well. But our sale is going to be on December the 3rd, which is tomorrow. I'm here on viewing day, and I wanted to take you around a few of the lots that we've got here and also explain just how you can get involved with buying these cars if you like them. So let's go and show you a few things that we've got. Come with me. So the first car I wanted to show you is what will arguably be the star of the show for many of you. This is a 1962 Aston Martin DB4 Series 4 Vantage. Now, a lot of you will probably recognise the DB4 as having headlights that stick out here, and they're flat. However, this is just before the DB5 came along, so it actually has many of the features that a later DB5 would have had. Funnily enough, the actual DB5 used in Goldfinger, BMT216A, which was stolen and nobody's seen it since, was actually a prototype DB4 Series 4 Vantage that was uprated to DB5 specification for the film. So there you go, bit of trivia for you. But this particular car is one of those. And I imagine it's a hell of a lot cheaper than Bonds would be nowadays. So this car is obviously not the same colour either. It's the only one to be specified in Roman purple. And look at it. I don't think you could get much more 60s than it, really. And what's lovely as well is that it has its whole original interior. So it's never been messed with. I mean, the bodywork's been restored, so bits have been changed and cut out here and there and replaced as it needed and completely repainted. But to me, this is the pièce de résistance. I mean, there's plenty of cars out there that have been restored within an inch of their life, and don't get me wrong, it's lovely and it's nice that people do that, but this, sitting in this and driving this, it's like having an old pair of slippers that you just can't bear to part with. You sink into the seat, you're very comfortable. I mean, it's yeah, absolutely lovely. I mean, look at it, look, even like down to the original leather gear gaiter on it, and it's got electric windows as well, which I don't know if it would have originally been specified with those actually, because they were fitted to very few DB4s. So if it is, then that's quite a rare thing. But yeah, fabulous. Oh, an original Webasto sunroof as well. So if you wanted to go down to Monaco, which is absolutely what you should do in one of these, then you certainly can. So if I can undo that, look, here you go. Look at that, and it works. It does work. Mega cool. Look at that. I really wanted to show you this lovely little Singer 9 Le Mans. So this is it was developed in the 1930s, so it's 1935, for use in Le Mans and other competition work. So it's one of 4 that were built by the works, and it's known as the AVC series of cars because they all had consecutive registration numbers, AVC. I think it went from 481, 482, 483, 484, and this one's 482, so it's the second of the 4. This particular car is powered by Singer's great, it's a 900 odd, 950 odd cc single overhead cam engine, and this particular car has competed in not just 1, but 4 Le Mans 24-hour races in the sub 1.5 litre class. Unfortunately, he didn't win any of them, but regardless, there are not many other cars that are eligible to go and do the Le Mans Classic with this much history and present as well. I drove this yesterday. It's great fun, handles really well, fires up. It's a little bit scruffy around the edges, but it's sort of what you'd expect a race car to be. So, and it's what? 60 to 80,000, which I think is a very reasonable amount of money for the amount of things that you can actually use it for. And it's usable as it is. You might like to improve it, but what a gem, absolute gem of a car. And, just the whole line of it as well. I mean, come and have a look at this shifter that it's got. Just a little short throw shifter in there. I think that's fabulous. Look at that. Quick gear changes. Yeah, you can't get much better than that. I'll now show you something a little bit more modern than what I've shown you previously. This fabulous 2013 Bentley Mulsanne. Now, these are a special car anyway. Their build quality is great. They're a fabulous looking thing. But this particular one is really special because it was actually used by the current King Charles III, who was then Prince of Wales at the time, and he is imaged using this previously. So it was originally registered to the Bentley Press Department and their Special Vehicle Department as well, and then allocated to the Royal Family in, I think, December 2013. And just look at it. I mean, the colour alone is to die for. Talk about fit for a king, literally. It's this. I don't know what the name of the colour is, but the way that the blue pops out of it as you move along the light, and I hadn't noticed this before, and you can't really see it in the photographs in the catalogue, but it's just stunning. So, I mean, I'll show you the inside of it as well. So obviously you've got the front end, which is the bit that Charles would not have sat in, unless he fancied going for a drive, of course, which he might have done, I don't know. But you've got all of that beautiful woodwork and that stunning cream leather in there as well, with the blue carpets, which contrast really well with it. But I suppose, sorry, I'm going to have to do this because, you know, I've got a slight superiority complex, so if you don't mind. Yep. I certainly do feel like a king in here. And look how well appointed it is. Look at all this. Wow. It's almost like it's from another age because they don't, you know, well, obviously they do make things like this nowadays because this is a relatively recent car, I suppose. But, I mean, look at it. The way all the leather's been trimmed. Stunning, stunning car. I wonder what this is. Oh, look at that. Look at the vanity mirror in there. The way that pops open and that comes up. I could do my makeup while I'm in here, couldn't I? What a lovely thing. It'll be interesting to see what it does, and the reason being is because I don't think any of the Bentleys that Charles has been famed for using have been up for auction recently, but I know a couple of the Range Rovers have, and they've done extremely well. So we've got this estimated at, hang on, 80,000 to 100,000, and you think that the Range Rovers recently have done, what, 150 odd, I think one of them did, so here's your chance to own something royal, and certainly something which is at the top of its class. So in here we have our Rolls-Royce and Bentley section, if you like, and heavier cars, because we've actually got a harder floor in here. So we can have things above 2 tons. But I wanted to particularly show you 3 cars in here that we have. So we'll start with this 1971 Bentley fixed head Corniche. So I love this car. A load of people have been looking at it. The Bentley versions, I mean, they are more popular nowadays than the Rolls-Royce is. Don't know why, just but maybe people associate with being a little bit more sporting. But this particular car had around about 150,000 spent on it at Nigel Sandal for a proper glass out rebuild. And I tell you, it doesn't get much better condition wise than that for one of these. Evidently supplied by Jack Barclay at some point, and probably from new. Just the way it's been trimmed is really, really sublime. I mean, everything's sharp. The leather that's been used is correct, so it has this lovely smooth grey on it that people don't get right not very often. The door cards are right. The woodwork's lovely. Even the way the dash top's been done, that's nice as well. You know, the wood, everything feels good. And that's an important part of a car, really. You know, the way the carpets have been done and tucked under everything properly. It's, yeah, nice. Very nice. And we also have, it's not exactly poor relation, we have this fabulous Rolls-Royce Corniche as well. So this is a 1989 car, so it's one of the very later ones, or not the latest because they went up into the 1990s, but so they went to like thick bumpers with the late 1970s, early 80s cars, and then they went back to these painted bumpers with the little chrome inserts in them with these nice disc wheels, which is almost off the Spirit. So you've got a gold flying lady on the front of it. And obviously this one is bereft of a roof, because it's a drop head. I'll show you in there as well. Again, lovely interior. I believe this one to be original, so it's you know, it's a good, well looked after car, whereas the other one was one that needed a complete restoration almost. But what's the mileage? Yeah, 33,000. I mean, yeah, you can tell as well. Nice car. All the lambs wool over rugs in there. Look at that. Very nice thing. I mean, talk about the corniche. Yeah, definitely. You could literally take this down again to, you know, along the south of France or what have you, along all the mountain roads, and it'd be lovely. I'll show you another one as well. I mean, this is, it's a little bit more modern, but it's a particularly good example, this one, so I wanted to show it to you. So this is a Bentley Continental R. It's been passed to me by my client who is a Bentley and Rolls-Royce specialist who was looking after it for the vendor. And a lot of these cars, where they started becoming quite, well, they lost a lot of their value, they weren't being looked after properly. So you end up with lacquer peel on them, and you know, they're particularly prone to the sills going on these as well. But this one is so well looked after. It's, you know, all the front end, it's hard to even find stone chips on it. It's been so well touched in and looked after, and, you know, it's been mollycoddled its whole life. And it's got the later style wheels on it as well, the 5-spoke, which is a little bit nicer. But again, got all of its lambs wool over rugs. It's a bit dark, so you might struggle to see it so well. But I've driven it and it's a lovely thing. I mean, I've seen a few of these parked outside people's houses in Chelsea, for example, around Eaton Square, and they always look absolutely brilliant. It's like they're meant to be there, you know. And this is a particularly good example, and great colour combination. There's a typical Bentley in the green. Very nice things. So I'll show you some more. So many of you don't realise, but at Millbrook we have this fantastic space, and I've had a few people walk in here today and they've gone, where are all the cars? Well, here's most of them. Anyway, this is the main hall, if you like. And the first car I'll show you in here is this Aston Martin Lagonda Rapide. Well, people call it a Lagonda Rapide, really, because it is, for all intents and purposes, a Lagonda. But there we go. Well, you know, semantics. So this car is one of the 55 that were built. I think it's 55 anyway, off the top of my head. It's been restored during the late 1980s, early 1990s by Aston Martin Works themselves. This is not the original colour. It was originally De Bono Rosso, but it's been repainted in this beautiful shade of, I think it's pewter it's called, which is a very slightly greeny, bronzy colour. And it's stunning. I mean, I've seen a few of them. They're never that well maintained or looked after, really, because they are such a lump and they're hard to restore, because at the end of the day, you think what a DB4, DB5 is £350,000 plus VAT to restore nowadays is a starting point. These are more complicated, more doors, larger, more complicated lines like this, for example, and they are still a Superleggera body. And this one's, you know, it's very nice. So it's obviously an older restoration, but it stood up really well. The vendor's been using it quite a bit and he's looked after it very well. So, you know, there's a few things like stone chips, but interior's been retrimmed, excuse the mats. You can see them. I can have a look at those lovely carpets in there. And it dries really, really well. And it's got those lovely, I'm not sure what the story is behind those two clocks on the glove box there. They're obviously additions, but I imagine they're something to do with a previous owner, possibly a horologist or something like that, because they are particularly nice. And he's also just reduced his estimate on this as well. So at the moment it's, I think it's 60 to 70, and now he's reduced down to 50 to 60 because he's decided to reduce his reserve. So that could be a very, very reasonably priced car, really, given what it is. I thought I'd show you these two just because they are particularly good examples of cars that are a little bit more reasonably, well, a little bit more affordable, essentially. So show you all the big stuff, that show you, you know, the good classics that you can own, and own many of them for the same price as the big ones. So this is a lovely 205 GTI 1.6 special edition. And it's been subject to a comprehensive restoration recently, and I mean, it is really, really clean. A lot of my colleagues who've driven it have said, oh yeah, that's, you know, that's great, and it really is nice as well. I mean, come and have a look at the interior as well. You've seen the popping colour. Try and get some light in there so that Martin can show you. Yeah, look at that, it's all been retrimmed nicely. I mean, I thought that was absolutely lovely, really. And this bright yellow thing is a very late rubber bumpered MG Midget 1500. But it's incredibly low mileage. So no, this has not been restored. All of this is original. You will not find, well, you might do if you're really, really lucky, but you'll struggle to find one better. And I know that's a term that loads of people use, but you know, when they are this clean and this low mileage, then too right, you know. I mean, what's the mileage at the moment? Let's have a look. 8,485. Look at that. Yeah, I'll let you have a look in there. For a completely untouched car, I mean, I don't see many British Leyland treasures that are as good as that, really. And it's, you know, my colleagues again said it drives really well. That could be a proper good classic for somebody. If you want a great little investment piece and a good sports car to use next year during the summer, well, you could use it in winter as well if you felt that was the need. This is a Lotus Elise S1, and this particular one is a Type 49 edition. So it's in Lotus's iconic Harvest Gold colours, which was used for Graham Hill's F1 cars in the late 60s. And look at it, wonderful. I think they only did 92, am I right? 92 Type 49s, so very rare thing indeed. This one's got 27,500 miles from new. The gentleman, the young gentleman who's entered it into the sale, it was his father's before him who passed away unfortunately, and now he's decided to let the car go. So hence why it's here with us. And yeah, ready to go, near enough. It's, you know, been freshly MOT'd, a little bit of, you know, improvement to do around the edges. So it's got a little bit of blistering, which is to be expected on these fiberglass cars, but you know, great. That'd be really, really good fun. And it looks great as well. I'll tell you what, I'll show you a couple of projects that we've got here as well. So this one is entered from a deceased estates collection. It's entered without reserve. It's a 1953 Jowett Jupiter. So if you've not heard of the Jupiter before, you know, interesting late 40s design sports car, has a flat 4 engine. This one, you know, most of the restoration work's been done, but just needs a little bit of finishing off. So great project for somebody over winter. You could get that done for next year. Don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that. Shouldn't have said that. But this you couldn't get done for next year unless you're really, really quick. It's not often we come across these now, but this is a barn find 3.8 fixed head coupe E-Type. We still get excited about them. They are fabulous cars. And this one, I really like this because it's opalescent golden sand, which is the same colour as my S-Type I own. I think it's the best colour for them, but you know, people will probably disagree with me. It's obviously been repainted at some point in the past, but you know, it's a long time ago. But it's got a lot of the correct and original features. So I tell you, what a great project for somebody. You know, you could make that look like one of the cars I'll show you shortly. Talk about a post-vintage thoroughbred. I mean, you can't get much more of a thoroughbred than the Alvis Speed 20. This one's an SC, so it's got significant improvements from some of the earlier cars. So, for example, it's got a synchromesh gearbox, which will be attractive to many of you. This particular car is bodied with a Vanden Plas Tourer body, so hence why it's got these beautiful, swooping, sporting lines, and they are considered to be one of the most desirable bodies for them, obviously. So I've got some nice weather gear on here and a hood when it gets a bit rainy, but regardless, when the roof's down, you can't get much more exposed, which is what we like. And it's light, so it's fast. This particular one's been converted from centre throttle to conventional throttle as well, so it's a little bit easier to drive. And I tell you, what a thing. I mean, look at it. You know, we've got records a bit close to my heart, but it was at the National Alvis Day in Crystal Palace, which is where I live, in 1966. And yeah, it's lovely. Blockley tyres on there as well. I had a quick drive in this earlier, and it's, you know, it goes really well. Lovely engine, fired up immediately, like boom. So, you know, really, really nice thing. Ready to use, I reckon. So we showed you the gold E-Type barn find, the 3.8 earlier. This is the latest Series 1.5 4.2 fixed head coupe, and it's in a very slightly different condition to the gold one that we showed you. So this is like a, have a look at what you could have won. Not sure what this colour is because it's darker than the usual gunmetal that they used, but yeah. Really lovely. I mean, I've not gone under the bonnet or anything on it. I've literally sat in it for a couple of seconds earlier while we moved it. But, you know, red interior as well. So ultra desirable colour combination. Absolutely gorgeous. So obviously if you didn't know this, the 4.2s had slightly more comfortable seats in them as well. So the early 3.8s had the spade backs, which are a little bit more sporting and supportive, but they're on a long run they can be a bit uncomfortable. So these are known for their comfort. But yeah, and also a full sync mesh gearbox rather than the Mosket box as well. That's a lovely car though. All the chrome wires on it and everything being done. Nice. This, I think, is a particularly special car. This is a Sunbeam 23.8 horsepower, so the latest 20s that they did. And it's a Wayman-bodied saloon, so it's half fabric, so particularly light. I love this thing because I think it's... What it represents is, I can imagine somebody from, you know, in Mayfair owning this, someone like, you know, Wolf Bonato would have done, having outside their house in Mayfair, and then using it to jump in and absolutely career as fast as possible down to their country abode at the weekends. You know, proper Playboy's car. And saloons, I think, are becoming to be a bit more noticed as well, which is good. It's about time, really, because obviously we went for a time where everything was chopped into a Tourer, but this has survived, and it's a lovely low roof line on it. I mean, I think it's gorgeous. This particular car was actually owned by the Sheriff of Derbyshire from new, and then it was bought by a chap called Mr. Kelsey in the early 1960s, and he restored it in period. This is not the same restoration, but then he kept it for a number of years, and he has been in touch with me to say, oh, I remember my old car, which is very nice. But then it was also, you know, restored again later on, you know, in more recent times, about 15, 20 years ago, subjected to a full engine overhaul. It's a really glamorous, proper, you know, beast of a car. And you think what a Bentley or a Lagonda would cost you. This is estimated at £20,000 to £25,000. It's a hell of a lot of car for the money. You know, 3.3 litre, 6-cylinder engine, smooth, synchromesh on third and fourth, so easier to drive. Yeah, really imposing, proper thoroughbred car. For those of you who are proper drivers and you like something that thrills you, this is a Stutz Bearcat. This is a 1920 Series H, and having driven it, it is absolutely terrifying. It's brilliant. It's one of the true American sports cars, and you know, there's not that many that are considered to have been done like that. So it's got a 3-speed gearbox, great big long stroke engine in there, 4-cylinder, and it's just really, really powerful. So I mean, I love it. You are really open to the elements. I mean, it just looks like something out of The Great Gatsby or something, really, don't you think? And I love the fact you've got to, you know, almost got to lean out of the car to change gear as well. And it's like, you know, you've got to throw it in, match the revs properly. But yeah, rear wheel brakes only. So you know, you're off like a scolded cat when you're away. And then slowing it down is interesting. I'm going to show you this just because I really like it. I mean, for me, this is the car of the sale, but I know a few of you will go, why? You know, you've got loads of exotic here. And the reason for it, so this 1966 Karmann Ghia, this is, as far as we can tell, original paint. So it was bought by a chap in California, brand new. It has all of its original documentation with it, specified as is in the ivory with the, you know, the black basket weave interior with the white wall tyres, and it is completely as it was when he bought it. So he owned it up until, you know, I think it was 2018, and then it was bought by a chap who brought it over here, decided that he wanted to move back to the States, so he sold it to the vendor. The vendor's very carefully, and I mean very carefully, recommissioned the car and has just absolutely cherished it, and it is utterly, I think, in my opinion, it's one of the best examples that you could find. I mean, I'd describe that as a very modest little engine, really, but just, you know, down to, it's got all of its original insulation in there and everything, and just everything is properly right. You can tell things have been done, so they put a little fuel filter in there and everything, but, you know, look at all the original spot welds. It's a very nice original car. UK registered now as well. has been used over here. Then come and have a look at the interior. That's all original. It's got those protective mats over it just to cover this all original loop pile carpet and everything in there. Let's see if I can show you that quickly. I think the mats have been replaced because they disintegrated, but apart from that, it's as good as you're going to get, really. I mean, look at it. Well, that's original. I think that's the original tyre as well. I love it. I just think it's a great story. And it's got all the history file is a box like that, and it's got all of the original sales docs in there and everything's great. And all the original service documents from where the owner was doing his own services and making handwritten notes. Lovely. Really, really great car. So, I've taken you around a few of the bits and pieces that I think are my favourites, but what's your favourite? Maybe you like something that I've mentioned, or maybe you've seen something in the background. You wonder, what's that? Make sure you go to our website, www.h&h.co.uk. If there's something that you really like, if you go onto the individual lot listing and scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the name of the specialist who's consigned it to the auction. So if you've got any questions about it, you can find our phone number or our email address on there, and feel free to get in touch with us and we'll try and tell you as much as we possibly can. With regards to the auction day, so we're on viewing today. Tomorrow, Wednesday the 3rd of December, is our auction. We'll be open at 9 AM for viewing, and we'll be open at 12 o'clock for the auction itself. If you want to bid, you need to register to do so. So if you're coming in person, bring some ID with you and we'll get you registered here on the day. But if you can't attend, then you can also bid via the telephone or online. You will find all the details of that on our website under bidding and how to bid. You'll be able to register to bid via that. Again, if you have any issues whatsoever, please do get in touch with us via the phone or via email, info@h&h.co.uk. We hope to see you tomorrow, but if we can't, then see you soon and good luck with bidding.